Well, let me take you back to 2 years ago, Friday, March 31st of 2023. This is what it looked like in Walworth County in Elkhorn after a tornado came through, one of many tornadoes to hit on this particular Friday night. Take a look at what the radar looked like. Now we're zoomed into Iowa here, and note you can see up to Janesville, and notice that line pushing all the way into southern Wisconsin. This was a nasty night of thunderstorms that pushed across the area, especially our southern communities, and you can see those tornado warnings starting to light up into southern Wisconsin as that line pushed out of Iowa and into Wisconsin again on that Friday night, March the 31st. Now, this was an expected storm system, and what we mean by that is the Storm Prediction Center had a large risk for severe thunderstorms. In fact, a rare high risk for severe thunderstorms there across parts of Iowa, Illinois, and northeastern Missouri. You see how the risk got lower the farther we went to the north. But interesting here in that we had that enhanced risk really going right over where we had those tornadoes in the southern part of Wisconsin. So let's talk more about this. These were the tornado reports for Friday, March the 31st of 2023. Now, these were all the individual reports. So there were actually more reports than there were tornadoes. So the same tornado had multiple reports on it. Multiple people saw it. So that's why you're seeing a few more than actually occurred. There were 12 tornadoes in all in southern Wisconsin. And again, this happening here on what was likely a busy Friday night for many here at the end of March. Thankfully, they were all on the weaker side, meaning they were EF0s to EF1. The damage was relatively minor, as tornado damage can go. It at least wasn't on the major side where we get the 3s, the 4s, or the 5s. In southeastern Wisconsin, so in our counties of southeastern Wisconsin, there were 5 tornadoes in total, but again, 12 in southern Wisconsin. But I mentioned a moment ago that enhanced risk, right? As to where we had those tornadoes, and the Storm Prediction Center did a great job lining that up. So what happened and why did it happen? Well, there was a frontal boundary that was stalled out over our area. So it was colder north and warmer south. And what's interesting about these stationary boundaries or warm fronts, if they're on the move, is that there's a natural rotation around these fronts. So when thunderstorms interact with these frontal boundaries, they can tap in to that natural rotation, and then that rotation will split off and split into the vertical and then can create tornadoes. And that's what we had on this night back in 2023. If you have a weather question for us, please scan this QR code and let us know. That'll come to us here in the Weather Center, and we would love to answer your weather questions here on Wisconsin Weather Experts.